Here's a wonderful book structure. It's called a crown book. I'm going to show you how I made it. It's a wonderful little piece. It has these tabs inside of it. So when you flip them out, you can take your paper that's inside. It could be your artwork, it could be notes. You can exchange them, you can turn it around, put them in different order. And with this one, I have just added some covers on the front, but it could be just the paper that you're using. And I've just slipped these over. And so the structure itself is this. And what it consists of simply is a front panel, which is your front covers, a back panel, your back covers, and then the middle accordion section, which we're going to be doing the folding with the little tabs on it. And these pieces, I didn't have a paper big enough, so I have added papers, glued papers together, or you can tape papers together to make a longer piece. And I'm going to show you how to do that. Join me. And the paper I'm using is 8.5 by 11 text weight paper. It's about 24 pound. So the height of the spine will be 8.5 inches, and then the width is going to be 16 inches that we need. So I've combined two pages together, overlapped them, and I've created that center seam at 8 inches. That way it's just easier to fold when it's already there. So I'm doing 8 inches and 8 inches, and I've just overlapped and attached two pages together. I've overlapped maybe by about 3/4 of an inch. And I'm just going to trim it down so that here it is at 16 inches. You can use heavier paper, but the heavier you go, the harder it will be to fold. So experiment with it if you want to. And now I'm just going to start to make the folds for the accordion fold. The desired number is going to be 16 sections. And so now I'm just going to start folding and making 4 panels. And so now I have 2 mountain folds and 1 valley fold in the middle. So I'm going to take this mountain fold and I'm going to line it up and fold it on the edge. And I'm going to do that with all the mountain folds, and I'm just going to then make 8 panels. So I'm going to fold this mountain one over to the edge. And then I'll fold, there's a mountain, and I'm going to fold it into the valley. You can press it with a bone folder or use the edge of an old gift card or the back of a spoon. And I'm going to fold this other mountain fold into the valley. Press it down again. And then I'm just going to fold them. See, I count 8 folds. I'm halfway there. And I'm just going to fold them to make an accordion again. So this is halfway. I have 8 panels, and now I need to fold them all again and do all these mountain ones, and I'm going to fold that mountain one to the edge, and that'll make it right in half. Press it down, and then fold this mountain fold into the valley and press it down. And keep repeating. This mountain fold folds, lines up and folds into the valley fold, and this one again folds into the valley. We're almost done. We need to just flip it around, and this mountain fold are going to fold into the valleys. Press it down. One more fold. One more. Press it down again. And our very last one, the mountain fold goes to the edge, line it up, and then press it down to make that crease really clean and crisp. And now, when I fold it up and make this accordion, that is going to be our centerpiece. Press it down just to make sure it's nice and those folds are crisp. And there's our center. This is going to make up our spine. And there are 16 panels there. Now, this is the spine, and then I have the front cover that I'll do, and then the spine and the back cover. So I'm just using an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, and I can always trim it afterwards, but right now I'm going to mark out 3/4 of an inch because this accordion panel is 1 inch, and so I'm just going to attach the cover to the accordion panel. And then from that line out will probably be about 10 inches when I fold it, but that will depend upon how wide your art is in it. So I'm just going to leave the 8.5 by 11, the 11-inch length on it, and I can trim it afterwards. So I've measured out 3/4 of an inch line, which I'm going to attach underneath these 2 accordion flaps. And I'm just going to fold them and then I just crease it really well. So that'll go on the one side underneath here. I'll attach it. And so now I'm just going to use double-sided tape actually. And I will put it on so that the bottom goes here. Yeah, that'll work. And I'm just going to use double-sided tape. Helps if I can see it. Too tight. Too tight. Too tight because then it puckers. So I have to make sure that paper's on straight. And then I put the double-sided tape on. Okay. So I want to put this in here. And then fold it down. Whoops. Okay, that did not work. Let's pull that up. Ah. Quick, quick. Okay, let's try this again. I'm going to try it this way. There we go. Okay. And at times I just furnish it. Now we have a cover and see, I did that again. Too long of a piece. There we go. So I'll do the same with this. I will put this on here, line it up, and press. Okay, so there's my spine, and these are going to be the covers. Okay, now typically I would measure this out and cut it. But because I don't know the inside of the pages, I'm going to leave that open so that I can fold them and make a cover that's this big, or if I were to cut that in, the page would be, or the cover would be smaller. So right now I'm going to leave that. We can decide that afterwards. And so what I want you to do is I want you to fold these, so have it so that the valley is here. So it's not a mountain that's ending, it's a valley here, and then you get a mountain coming up. So I want you to fold at right angles. So for example, you see this here, fold this at a right angle, and do that for every fold. Oops, careful that, get that in there. There we go. Can be a little tricky once you start, but you'll get the gist of it. So if it's easier to fold like that and they're all folded on top, and then fold this one. So these are all folded. This one will fold. I didn't fold that one very well. Let's try and correct that. I might have to hold it there and then fold. There we go. Okay. And then fold this and this one. Okay, so they're all folded, and then you can unfold these because it's easier to do the other side. So I want you to flip that over, and we're going to do the other side. So you can do it like this and fold and fold it just to the crease. You can use a bone folder, or if I have nails, I'll do nails that way. So So now that you've folded all of these, I want you to take them apart. I guess you could have done it at the same time, but now I just want you to make sure this will make it easier for you just to fold the other side. You just go this way because I'm right-handed. So just along that same fold, so that both sides of the same crease have folded both ways. so that they're easily back and forth, back and forth. Okay, and the same with this one. So fold it again this way. So those are all folded. So that's what they look like. So then we're going to do a reverse fold on all of these. So push that little mountain down, and then it creates this. So you have it so that's an indent, and it's pushed here. So you have this, and you just push the crease in, and you take this fold, push in, and you do that for everything. Push in for a reverse fold. Push in, okay, so this, you can also just reinforce that crease. So that's how it looks on the one side, and this is how it looks on the other. There you go. Okay, so this is where we start to create the main structure. So you have these portions. Now, this portion here, the top tail, I want you to take that and fold it over so that that section goes into the crease. So does that make sense? So take that, fold it in, and the natural crease is what I am going to measure this. So that's the fold of the natural crease there, which is 7/8. So we're just going to make sure that it's about that same part in. So this, let's go through that again. So if you have this like this, you take this part here, fold it into this, and then create that fold along. And then again, you'll take this part here and you're going to fold it in to the crease. So you're left like that. So you have this, we were here, take this tail up here, and you're going to fold it in on itself like that. You're going to take this tail, oops, take that tail right there and fold it in, and it will crease quite easily. So take that tail and get that tail and fold it in. Get this tail, fold it in, press that down, open it up. You have this, take this tail, fold it in, press it down, fold it over. Take this, fold it in, press down, fold it over. All the way to the end. And then on this one, we're just going to bend it down at right angles, and hopefully it will go along the same angle. I'm going to measure that so before I fold it exactly. So that is what we do that side. We flip it around And we're going to do exactly the same size, but you see how now it's created this structure. It's holding it together. So we're creating this spine in here. So again, fold it over, right angles. That creates the spine, and we're just going to, that'll create the rest of the cover. Open it up, take the tail, bring it down, fold it over. Bring the tail, fold it down into the spine so it's all in a line. Press, fold it over. Take this tail, fold it in to the spine, and fold it over. Take this, fold it in, press, fold it over. And then this one, we'll be folding it over, line it up, and oops, it will make, I'll measure that out, it will make the, okay, so just want to make sure, so it's 7/8, 7/8, so. And this one should be at 7/8, pretty darn close. Press it. This is a little short. I'm just going to move that a bit. Okay, so this is the structure of your book. These are the covers. We'll determine the pages. The covers are going to fold over, so they'll create a sturdier cover. And now you have created this. And so we can take any piece of paper. So determine the size of the paper. Measure the inside here. So it's about 6.5. Doesn't have to go right to the end. Allow a little wiggle room. So 6.5-inch high, and then your covers, they'll probably be 10 folded over, will be 5. So my paper, I'm going to use just this red, just so you can see when I insert it. So the paper height will be 6.5, and the width will be 5 inches. But because the way I'm going to put it in, I need a fold. So we need to double that. We need to double the width of this. So in a sense, the pages are going to be 10 inches. So let's just do 5. 5. So the width of your pages are going to be the width of your cover. You're going to fold them in half because then they're, let's try this again. The width of your pages are going to be the width of your cover, because you're going to fold them in half and we're going to insert them, and this cover will fold over. So then these pages, and the height of it will be approximately 6.5. So let's just measure 6.5, 6.5. Okay, so this is the size of your paper that's going to fit in. So again, fits this. We're going to fold it, and it fits this height. So now what we're going to do is all of these structures that we've created, and you see they're like this, because we've created this fold in and this fold in. So now what we're going to do is take these apart. We're going to put a signature in, and we're going to flip them down. So you see how it fits, and then we'll fold it over, and we'll put one in every single booklet. And that will be, and then we'll do a cover, cover will fold. So we'll do this cover, fold it down, and so that'll be the cover of the book. But what we do is we're going to slip the cover in these first sections. So you see where these are. We're going to just slip the cover into there. Ugh, let me do it better for the camera. Into there and into that one. So that holds the cover in place. So then it's a double cover. You can always add a heavier weight here. You can glue it in, and then each page you will put in, for example, if I had another one of the same size, I would put it in here, I'd put it in the bottom, and then you just have your pages and fold your book over. And then you do the back cover. Fold it over and score it. Slip it in the back end. Slide it in. There you go. And see, it's slid in to that section in the back. And here's the finished book again. Thank you for being here and watching this. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. Until next time. Bye for now.